before we get started, this video is based on the T08 published by the NBAA for the accounting technician level. So if you're not a Tanzanian, then I don't suggest watching this video. But if you are Tanzanian and you wish to know about the legal framework governing in the financial accounting reporting in the public sector, then please keep watching. So the public sector accounting in the government departments is a major function that incorporates the accounting and the recording of the money received by the government. It also accounts for and records the expenditure from the government funds in order to fulfill its public duties. So this is what we'll do. We'll explain the nature and the scope of public sector accounting. We will also explain the legal framework governing the financial accounting and reporting. We'll also describe the main legislative requirements and standards governing the form and contents of public sector accounting. We will also identify the central and local government financial management hierarchy components, and will also state the roles and responsibilities of central and local government offices as shown in the government financial management hierarchy components. So let's get started. The nature and scope of public sector financial discipline in public enterprises depends largely on the scope and objectives of setting them up. However, public finance is a study of how public sector enterprises raise finance. So how do they raise finance? They raise finance through taxes, through borrowings, and how they incur expenditure, such as building and maintaining public welfare structures and schemes, with a view of achieving its social and economic objectives. So, in summary, the public sector finance is a study of how the public sector enterprises, for example, the government, regional and national, how they raise finance and how they incur public expenditure. So how do they raise finance? They raise finance through taxes and they raise finance through borrowings. How do they incur public expenditure? They incur public expenditure by building and maintaining public welfare structures and schemes. So that is what public finance is. So the main aim of public sector enterprises is that. So let's go to the nature and scope. Number one, public sector accounting makes sure that public money is used efficiently and effectively in accordance within the statutory regulations for the benefit of the public. So, public finance makes sure that the people's money is used efficiently and effectively and not used misused, So the second one is to aid the function of stewardship. So what stewardship means basically is management. It means the proper control, it means proper supervision, So it aids in stewardship or management of preparing accounting records in a manner that ensures transparency and accountability towards the stakeholders, who are mainly the general public, So it helps in management to ensure proper preparation of accounting records in a manner that ensures transparency, where the general public, who are the main stakeholders, can see what is going on. The third one is to assist in the reporting function and appraisal of management efficiency. So with public sector accounting, any type of accounting needs to be reported, So this does not exclude the public sector accounting. So this third one says that the nature and scope should ideally include the following. It should assist the reporting function. So they do have to report, and this will assist in the reporting function and also appraisal of management efficiency to check whether the management is performing efficiently or not. The fourth one is to create financial information which will aid in policy formulation. So the financial information that is going to be created can be used in a variety of ways. The first one would be policy formation. According to this one, it will also aid in policy formulation. So making policies, for example, you find that there's a trend or there's a decline or maybe some you need to implement something, and maybe you need to create a policy where the amount of taxes maybe significantly increase to create something. So that is basically what we mean by creating financial information which will aid in policy formulation. And then the fifth one is to facilitate in proper audit of the accounts in order to add credibility to the proper use of public money. So the nature and scope should also facilitate proper audit of the accounts of the government and other public sector entities. Okay. The sixth one is to provide a clear picture of the loans, liabilities, and assets of the government, as well as the ability to fulfill their long-term goals. And the seventh one is comparison of budgeted with actual in order to appraise the performance of the government in the use of public money. So there's usually a budgeted accounts, and then there is the actual accounts, what exactly took place. So this helps check, like, what did you budget? Did you reach your goals? Did you perform better? This helps appraise the performance of the management of the government in the use of the public money. So yeah, that's the nature and the scope. So to summarize this, we'll start again. To make sure public money is used efficiently and effectively in accordance with the statutory regulations. The second one is the function of stewardship. The third one is the reporting function and appraisal of management. The fourth one is create financial information which will aid in policy formulation. The fifth one is to facilitate proper audit of the accounts to enhance credibility. The sixth one is to provide a clear picture of the loans, liabilities, and assets of the government. And the seventh one is to compare the budgeted versus the actual in order to appraise the performance of the management in public use. So we'll go to the next learning objective, which is the legal framework governing the public sector financial accounting and reporting. Financial reporting in public sector in Tanzania is governed by the Constitution, legislations, national accounting standards, and the International Public Sector Accounting Standards. These standards have been issued by the International Accounting Standard Boards and are based on the International Financial Reporting Standards for use by public sector. So, the main legal framework for public sector accounting includes the Constitution, the Public Finance Act, the Income Tax Act, and the Public Procurement Act. The Constitution mainly lays down the foundation for accounting, the books of account to be kept, and the authorization for revenue and expenditure of the federal, state, and local governments. The Public Finance Act shall govern the entire operations carried out by the Treasury and the authority of the Accountant General and the CAG, the Controller and Auditor General. Then the third legal framework is the Income Tax Act. The fourth one is the Public Procurement Act, which applies to the extent that public finance is used for procurement. And then we have various other state legislations, which are the IPSAS. IPSAS stands for International Public Sector Accounting Standards. These are a set of accounting standards which are issued by the IPSAS board for use by public sector entities. Now, IPSAS are basically International Accounting Standards, abbreviated as IAS, or International Financial Reporting Standards, abbreviated as IFRS. They're basically IAS or IFRS modified to meet the requirements of the public sectors. So, in this regard, public sector entities include national governments, regional governments, local government, and related government entities such as agencies, boards, commission, and enterprises. So, if there are no applicable IPSAs to be used, then the IPSAS states that the IAS or the IFRS should be looked to for guidance on disclosure of accounting events. The other legal framework is the Code of Ethics for Public Servants in Tanzania. So, in order for the public service to be efficient and respected, public servants should behave and conduct themselves in a manner that is appropriate, that is based on the Code of Ethics for Public Servants in Tanzania. So, number one, they have to respect all human rights and be courteous. Number two, they have to perform diligently and in a disciplined manner. They also have to promote teamwork. They should perform their duties with integrity. They should promote transparency and accountability. They should maintain political neutrality, and they should also pursue excellence. So when we talk of human rights, all public servants should be aware and should be respectful of every human's rights. They should also be courteous. There is no way you would speak to someone as a public servant in a very disrespectful manner and violate their human rights. Okay? This would be against the code of ethics. They should also perform diligently and in a disciplined manner. So this is how we can summarize it. I've given you an abbreviation. You can say HDT DT PE. Okay, HDT DT PE. That is what are the main points for the code of ethics. So H stands for human rights, D stands for diligently and disciplined manner, T stands for teamwork. The next D stands for duties. Transparency and accountability is T, and P means political neutrality, and E means excellence. So H, human rights, D, diligently and disciplined, T, teamwork, D, duties, T, transparency and accountability, P is political neutrality, and E is excellence in service. Okay, so we'll move on to the main legislative requirements and standards governing the form and content of public sector accounting. So the United Republic of Tanzania has developed various acts and statutes that govern the form and contents of public sector accounting. The financial discipline includes the practices adopted by the government, such as rules and legislations which must be followed in order to enhance revenue collections and expenditure in public sector accounting. Okay? These rules and regulations are grouped into the following. Number one are the laws passed by the National Assembly. Now, accounting operation in the public sector is governed by laws passed by the National Assembly. Thus, no individual has authority or the capacity to contravene or to intervene the requirements of the law. So government accounting has to comply with only those laws and with provisions relating to or affecting the collection and expenditure of public funds. Okay, so the main legislature are the laws passed by the National Assembly. These include the Constitution of the United Republic of Tanzania, the Public Finance Act, the Pension Act, the Severance Act, the Appropriation Act, the Finance Act, the Public Procurement Act, and very many others. Okay, so the second legislature is the Public Finance Act. The Public Finance Act was among the examples of the laws passed by the National Assembly. So the Public Finance Act lays down the foundation of who will prepare the accounts and the frequency or the number of times the preparation of accounts need to be submitted to the National Assembly. Okay. The Public Finance Act lays down rules for accounting the money collected and recording expenses made under authority or the Parliament. So basically, it governs the operations of the Treasury under the Accountant General and the Controller and Auditor General. The next, we have financial orders and treasury accounting circulars. These are a set of instructions and procedures issued to the public entity in control of public funds by the Treasury for the purpose of providing guidance on how to collect, how to spend, and how to manage the public funds. So what we mean is that these are instructions and procedures issued to entities that public, okay, that are using the resources of the public, okay, by the Treasury for the purpose of providing guidance, okay. The next one is internal circulars. Internal circulars, and these are issued for the purpose of enhancing the overall control of public resources, okay. These are used in areas where the Treasury circular is inadequate. Accounting officers are allowed to give instructions which they deem appropriate for proper execution and control of government activities. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to cover is we're going to cover the central and local government financial management hierarchy components. Okay, so these components are divided into three levels. We have the operational level, we have the tactical level, and we have the strategic level. Now, what is a warrant? Before we begin, a warrant is the authority that confers power on the officer controlling expenditure to incur expenditure. So it gives an officer power to incur expenditure, to use public funds. Okay, so we'll start with the operational level. The operational level has the following. It has warrant holders, sub-warrant holders, collector of revenue, and sub-collector of revenue. Okay, so at the operational level, in a town council, the collector of revenue and the sub-collector of revenue will be responsible for collection of various taxes from establishments such as businesses, corporations, entities, and individuals. Okay, hence a warrant holder is the local level authority in financial management. So we'll also move to the tactical level. The tactical level consists of the following. It consists of accounting officers and receivers of revenue. At the tactical level, the accounting officers and receivers of revenue will be responsible for keeping an account of the tax money received and the amount utilized in various public duties. So basically, they keep accounts of what they received from the public and how they used it. Okay, if they used it. And then we'll move on to the strategic level. These are central government level officers who are the main decision makers and the main custodians of the consolidated fund account and public money. So these are the main decision makers and they're from the central government. At the top, we have the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, followed by the Parliament, followed by the Treasury, and then lastly the central establishment. The strategic level management will decide the overall tax structures that are applicable, the requirements of the Treasury in order to meet project costs, the various projects that are required for the public, and the capital that is required, as well as its accounting and auditing procedures. Okay, so that image is a management hierarchy that you can go and read. You can refer to the T08 NBAA on page 27. You'll find that image and it will give you more information. And then next, we'll deal with the roles and responsibilities of central and local government officers as shown in Government Financial Management Hierarchy components. These are very self-explanatory, and you can read the Accounting for Public Sector and Cooperatives, page 29 to 31. They're listed and explained very briefly and easy to understand. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If this helped you, share with someone else who you think needs it. And also, the NBAA provides test yourself questions as well as self-examination questions. So they also have answers. So if you think you need more practice, you need to go through what you've learned, test yourself, see what you're good at, identify gaps, then go through those questions. Thank you for watching. Until next time, be blessed.